almost a year has passed. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. When we ran into each other just about 24 hours ago. How much progress have you made in Saudi Arabia with some of your plans, and how much more do you want to do?
Well, progress is there. I think if you look at the situation globally, there is still growth in this region. This year is going to be better than last year. And the transformation plans are still there to be executed. So that's ongoing, and they are starting to be, they have started to be executed. If you look at Saudi, for instance, one of the major developments is the launch of the renewable energy program. Which is obviously a big thing for all the countries in the region, and we will definitely be part of that. Yeah. Now, not everything is being implemented at the same time, so indeed pace is a question mark, but compared to what I told you last year now, we have made progress, both in terms of deploying our financial capital into the kingdom and into the GCC, but also deploying our intellectual capital, because we have made quite a few forays into providing advisory work to the government and to the private sector.
So what more do you want to do in the kingdom then? Are you looking to deploy even more resources and time into the Saudi story?
Well, the resources are there. I think last year we met, I told you we were making an investment in a layer of senior bankers, which we have done. And in different areas, so, global markets, shipping and aircraft financing. We're now covering more and more the large family offices in the region. So now it's not a question of resources, it's a question of finding the right fit, and this is what we're doing. And the fit for us is very clear. We're not everything to everyone, but there is a lot to do in the energy sector, and we're a global energy house. There's a lot to do when it comes to structured financing, and there's a lot to do in terms of, again, providing intellectual capital and advisory.
Geopolitics has been part and parcel of this of this part of the world for quite some time, but it has increased, and especially around Saudi Arabia. Has that clouded at all your appetite for doing business in the region?
Well, for the time being, economically, as I said, the situation is stable. If you look at the IMF figures for this year, there is growth. There is more growth than last year. And we haven't seen that much change in the areas where we want to be active. And we're continuing to be active, not only in Saudi, obviously the whole of the GCC and Egypt, by the way. We talked about it last time.
That was going to be actually my follow-up. Egypt and the rest of the region. Which countries are the most attractive to you as you carve out your plans for 2019 and beyond?
Well, the nice thing about the GCC is that you have different countries at different levels or different stages of not development, but their transformation plans. So I'm very happy to have countries that are leading the pack, so UAE definitely, and Saudi as well. And there are countries that are just starting. Kuwait, for instance. I have great hopes in Kuwait going through its investment plans that they announced last year. And Egypt, for me, as I said last time, is one of my favorites. I think the Egyptian government has done a great job in turning around the economy. The IMF is saying it as well, even better than I'm saying it. So we're continuing to see Egypt as a mid to long-term growth engine for us.
The bank has been cutting jobs back home in Europe, and especially markets jobs. Is that going to have an impact on your level of staffing in this part of the world and your ambitions for the future?
Well, as I said, we've made investments last year. We have the resources to continue to grow in this region. As you know, our model in the region is very much based on an agile presence on the ground and the support of our global teams. And I'm confident that this year will be another year of growth for the Middle East business for Societe Generale.
One of the clouds that have been cast over Dubai was the Abraj saga. How have you dealt with that exposure? Have you had to take any provisions on that?
Well, that's a story, that's, in the market. Nothing to say about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a strong view on oil prices for 2019, where that's going to go?
We have a house view, and we are part of those banks that are seeing, the oil price stabilizing around the 65-70 level. But again, I don't think anyone knows, to be honest. I mean, you've seen how volatile the price has been. I think the factors driving the oil price are quite unpredictable. There are a few black swans at the horizon. So I wouldn't, take the risk of a prediction here.